The ocean stretches endlessly beneath a gray sky. Waves roll in slow, heavy motion, hiding everything below their surface. From above, the Atlantic looks calm, indifferent. But in the final months of World War II, these waters carried a quiet terror. Somewhere beneath the waves, enemy submarines were moving westward, toward the United States. It was early 1945. Germany was losing the war on land. Allied armies were closing in from every direction. Yet beneath the Atlantic, a final, desperate threat emerged. Intelligence reports warned that advanced German U-boats were heading toward the American East Coast. Some believed these submarines carried new, terrifying weapons like V-1 rockets. Others feared sabotage missions or last-ditch attacks on U.S. cities. The danger was unclear, but the response was immediate and overwhelming. The United States Navy launched Operation Teardrop. Naval commanders understood what was at stake. After years of hard-fought progress in anti-submarine warfare, the idea of enemy U-boats operating near U.S. shores was unacceptable. The Atlantic could not be allowed to become a battlefield again. This time, the Americans would not wait for disaster. They would hunt. Operation Teardrop wasn't a single battle, but a massive, coordinated effort. Destroyers, destroyer escorts, aircraft carriers, patrol planes, and shore-based air units were mobilized into powerful hunter-killer groups. Their mission was simple in theory and brutal in practice: find and destroy German submarines before they could ever reach the coast. Imagine the scene. U.S. Navy destroyers sliced through heavy seas, their hulls cutting white scars into the gray water. Above them, patrol aircraft circle endlessly, their crews scanning the surface for any sign of a submarine. This was warfare stretched across thousands of square miles, a battle fought with endurance as much as with firepower. At the very heart of Operation Teardrop was a revolutionary technology: sonar. Below deck, inside cramped, dark sonar rooms, young American sailors sat motionless, headphones pressed tightly against their ears. They listened, hour after hour, to the constant noise of the ocean, waves, the thrum of their own ship's propellers, shifting thermal layers, distant ships. Somewhere in that watery chaos might be the one sound that mattered: the faint, rhythmic echo of a German submarine. Every few seconds, a sonar ping was sent into the depths. An invisible wave of sound spread outward, cutting through the darkness. When nothing returned, the silence was unsettling. But when an echo came back, everything changed. Adrenaline surged. A hunt was on. The German U-boats knew they were being hunted. These were not the confident predators of the early war. They were desperate survivors. Many were newer models, capable of deeper dives and longer underwater endurance. Their crews understood that reaching the American coast meant slipping through one of the most heavily monitored stretches of ocean in history. Inside those submarines, the atmosphere was suffocating. Engines were cut, men whispered, or didn't speak at all. Every creak of the metal hull, every shifting footstep, felt like a betrayal that could give away their position. And above them, the Americans listened patiently, waiting for that one mistake. When a sonar contact was confirmed, the ocean erupted into motion. Destroyers turned sharply, their engines roaring as they closed in on the invisible target. Sonar operators, the eyes and ears of the hunt, tracked the submarine by sound alone, calling out its bearing and distance to the bridge. Then came the depth charges, armed and released from the stern of the destroyers. They sank rapidly before detonating with violent, bone-jarring force. Underwater, the explosions were terrifying. Shockwaves slammed into the submarine hulls like giant hammers. Lights flickered and died. Instruments failed. The pressure inside the steel tube became unbearable as water began to seep in. Some U-boats tried to escape by diving deeper, pushing their vessels to the absolute limit. Others attempted frantic evasive maneuvers, zigzagging blindly in the dark. But few succeeded. Aircraft played a crucial role in this deadly game of cat and mouse. Long-range patrol planes swept the ocean relentlessly, forcing the submarines to remain submerged, draining their batteries and air supply. Even a brief moment on the surface to recharge could be fatal. Radar, sonar, and air power worked together in a tightly coordinated net, closing every possible escape route. This was not the chaotic anti-submarine warfare of the early war years. This was a system refined by bitter experience, advanced technology, and relentless training. It was a wheel-oiled machine designed for one purpose: to kill submarines. One by one, the German U-boats were detected, attacked, and destroyed. Some were sunk with all hands, their fate sealed in the crushing depths of the Atlantic. Others surfaced, badly damaged, their crews forced to abandon ship into the freezing ocean water. The survivors were taken prisoner, often shocked by the scale and sophistication of the American response that had been waiting for them. Operation Teardrop sent a clear and final message. The Atlantic was no longer a place where German submarines could operate freely. The balance of power beneath the waves had completely and decisively shifted. The United States Navy had turned the vast ocean into a controlled battle space, dominated by sound, coordination, and overwhelming force. As the operation continued through April and into May of 1945, the feared attacks on the American coast never came. The submarines never reached their targets. Whatever final, desperate mission they had been sent on died with them beneath the waves. The threat was eliminated not by a single, dramatic clash, but by persistent patrol after patrol, ping after ping. The war in Europe was nearing its end. On land, victory was visible in the headlines and newsreels, but at sea, victory was silent. Operation Teardrop became one of the final, decisive chapters of the Battle of the Atlantic, a powerful demonstration of how far American anti-submarine warfare had come. What began as a critical vulnerability had been forged into an undeniable strength. What was once invisible and terrifying was now hunted with cold precision. Today, the ocean is once again calm and peaceful. But somewhere in the dark, still depths of the Atlantic lie the remains of those submarines that never reached their destination. Their story is a reminder of a forgotten battle, a final, silent showdown in the last days of the war. It's proof that the United States did not just defend its shores with ships and guns, but with patience, technology, and the incredible ability to hear what others could not. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story of naval history as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. We'll see you in the next video.